Yeah, I see it now.
Oh, yeah, we're live. Hey, welcome everyone. Good to see you. This is kind of like an interactive workshop. That's a great beginning for that. It's an interactive workshop. We'll be, talking around and maybe asking questions and giving answers. We have a few DJs here, a few producers here, a few musicians. Well, not that the DJs aren't musicians, we can be both at the same time. So it would be nice a discussion, I believe. And I have some videos that I pull out just for showing purposes what I'm talking about. As my studio is still in boxes, I just moved from Hollywood, California, to
Wow.
past the desert in the middle of nowhere on top of a mountain. I love it. But my studio is
Wow.
still in boxes, and I'll be unboxing in the next few months, but taking my sweet ass time with it. So, with that said, let me just stop the video because I do prefer to, to take it easy and take my time with things versus forcing things and making it all fast. Also, what I wanted to stop sharing. Okay, stop sharing. Hi.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, just wanted to give a couple of things about me, just in case. Like, I'll have hi Gunta, what's up?
Oh, and Gunta. Wow,
Good to see you. Yeah,
great
just
turnout.
wanted to give a couple of kind of backstory things. So, why should you listen to me? You should. Been a DJ for quite a while, and
Mhm.
went to school for that even after I was a concert pianist most of my life. Started playing piano super early age, and my parents thought I was talented, so they made me practice for 8 hours a day. And I was mostly fucking around on the piano, but for that time. But they don't have musical background, so they had no idea what I was doing, and I was actually composing without knowing that I was composing. And in
Wow.
2010, I started to look into music production and went to Berkeley and a bunch of courses online for music production, learned Logic and then Ableton, some other ones too, but it doesn't matter. I started producing music in 2010, and I had
Wow.
a lot of samples of my classical piano playing in my music, and I had a bunch of DJ friends, so I would send them tracks and say, play it in your club or in your show. Some of them were playing festivals, and none of them wanted to play my tracks. They were all like, "This is shit. It's too much classical piano in it. You need four on the floor, simple chord progression, something that hits the dance floor." So I was like, okay, do I get discouraged or what? So even though back then in 2010 I was still living in Florida and I had a successful teaching career, and it was actually that successful that I had a waiting list of over 200 people, and I had to hire teachers to work for me. We were teaching music, and we expanded to different instruments, and then that like was really successful. But I left all and moved to California, to Los Angeles, and decided to show middle finger to all the people that told me my tracks sucked and become a DJ myself. But I already made a decision. But before I was moving, as I said, had a music school, and I was hiring teachers. They were working for the school, for my school, teaching different instruments. And one teacher I hired was a DJ. So I was like, okay, teach me. So I will show you in a little bit. I have some videos pulled with the different control surfaces with what like you showed me on. And it's something to be said that is so important when you teach anything really, like voice, piano, DJing, anything, to make sure that the person that you're teaching likes the music you're studying, or you're teaching them to mix or produce or sing or play piano or whatever. So I knew that, but like I didn't really think of it that much when it was coming to DJing. For me, the DJing was like super boring after classical piano. Press buttons, turn knobs, like retarded shit, you know. And because I was like studying by myself first from the YouTube videos and things like that, Frankenstein, different tutorials, and it was super boring. So that's why like hired a teacher. Okay, somebody needs to show me, or this is way too boring. I don't get it. Like put one track and then another track. How complicated is that? Right? So that guy came to my house. He taught me in person. Brought his controller. It was a standalone controller, and you will see in a little bit what's the difference if you don't know. So he brought it. He put it on top of my piano, and he put his stick with his music, and it was hip hop. And like I got a respect for hip hop from the '90s and 2000, like the early, but the brand new stuff that's out there, I don't really like vibe with it. It's too much of the same, too much vocoder and hi-hats. And like that's my personal opinion. Like no offense to like anyone really, but I wasn't vibing with it, right? And he was trying to teach me something, and something to be said also about like you have to be able to explain to like a 3-year-old. I over explain because I like to be over explained. So sometimes it might get annoying to some people that I explain too much, but like I like to be explained like I'm a 3-year-old. So with that said, some people just aren't good teachers, even if they are good at what they're doing. Might be an amazing concert pianist, but can teach Mary Has a Little Lamp to somebody. So you just have to meet people at their level of understanding with compassion and meet them where they're at. So that guy didn't have that. He's an amazing producer. We actually produced a song together and released it, the Little Mermaid thing. And I just didn't get into like it was super boring to me, and I was like, I don't know. I don't really like it, but I was determined to become a DJ so I can play my own records. So I can still show middle finger to all my friends that were like, oh yeah, your music is shit. Okay. So fast forward that, I moved to LA and went to Musicians Institute of Hollywood, and that was a 20 grand program for DJs. Um, Now looking back, oh my God. Wow. I could have learned and get into it for way less money. But you know what? One thing that came out of there that really changed my life was the turntables. Because, yeah, they teach you the different control surfaces. Of course, it's like a specifically designed for DJs. I mean, and it's for different musicians, but like that specific program was for DJs. So I was like, I'm in it. And did different control surfaces, learned them all, and they definitely can use an improvement. But I didn't know that back then. I was like brand spanking new, and to me, DJing was just boring, and I was set in stone thinking that. And one of the teachers was a turntablist, and one of the classes, like he got me to this little room with 2 turntables and a bunch of vinyl, and that's when for me it clicked. Wow, this is tangible. Every single touch I do on the record makes a difference to the sound. I can speed it up, slow it down with the touch of my hand. And then you have a mixer, 2 turntables, and I'll show you in the videos in a bit. But it was more like tangible, like an instrument, and I looked at it not more like pushing buttons and doing knobs, but more like an instrument that I was playing, right? And that's when I was like, there's something here that interests me actually. Same day, I went out and I bought 2 sets of turntables, Technics 1200s, and they're literally the best. Like if you know turntables, they're literally the best. I was like, I'm gonna get the best or nothing. So I got that, and I got a mixer. And since and you connect the turntables with the mixer, so that way like they can talk to each other, and the sound goes from one turntable to the other turntable through the mixer and then to the sound system. So mixer is like your command center, and the turntables are connected to the mixer. So I got this mixer, and it was a Tractor Z2. So it was basic but Tractor. And then you see later on, Tractor also could use a software, but it could be like just used as a mixer with turntable, without software, without computers. So I did that. 2 turntables, one basic mixer with just like filters. That's all. And I started. It was set up on my it was set up on my kitchen counter. I called myself the kitchen DJ. um, I was just buying records, going to these super big record stores in LA. There's a bunch, really good ones, ginormous like malls. And I was buying so many records. It's crazy. I have big walls of records, a lot of investment, and you just get into it. Yeah, like you go cuckoo in records. So yeah, fast forward that I started to look into meeting people and getting gigs and like getting comfortable to play in front of people because I didn't know what I was doing, of course. But I had a nice setup at home already, and I was looking into, since I got the Tractor mixer, I was looking to get into the Tractor software, which I did. And then I learned a lot about it, that you could do like different remix decks and put in your own music, kind of like what Serato can do with stems nowadays. So anyway, Tractor was first. um, and I have something about German things, like German cars, BMW, Mercedes, they're awesome. And like Tractor is German software with all the machines are German and everything. So I'm like, yeah, this is cool. So I got another Tractor controller that is a software one that I could like use with computer software. And again, I'll show you in a little bit, but just kind of give the story of that. Um, so I looked on Craigslist, and it's like a thing for, you can find anything for anything there. And I was looking for like DJ jobs or whatever, so I could like get comfortable in front of people. It wasn't about the money. It was more like so I can get out there and do it because back in the days when I was doing concert pianist and fashion modeling, like almost naked on stage type of thing. Yeah, I got pretty good at being on stage, But if I'm comfortable in what I'm doing, so I wasn't comfortable DJing. Of course, I was brand spanking new. So anyway, I looked for that job and I found one of my best friends. She's here in the tribe, Nicole, but she's more of a social media person, so I have to drag her feet to come to school. But that's where we met because she was looking for the same thing. She wanted to learn DJing, and that company was hiring, and it's like an event company. And oh man, that the boss that we had, like we needed to work 20 events before we get paid. And I'm like, okay, I'm here to learn anyway, not for the money. And he like kind of like fell in love with me or something, and he was behaving like a third grade where he would be mean to me, in front of the whole class. We were like a whole class of people that are there to learn. And he was so mean to me, I was like, one time I was like, man, fuck you, and just quit. And I don't know if like you can say quit because it wasn't really a job. It was more like an internship type of thing where I had to work 20 events with him, like weddings and bar mitzvahs and stuff like that I don't really like, where you play other people's music. They kind of tell you what they want to listen and you play it. And that's when I got exposed more to Serato. Although I did learn that in DJ school I was going, and like, I wasn't really vibing with it, but like he was using specifically Serato. And that's when I learned one of my best lessons for when it comes to DJing, because everything happens for a reason. We were at a pool party in Los Angeles with like really rich, snobby people that they weren't like very nice, but they weren't nasty either until the thing got screwed because we were DJing. I mean, like I wasn't DJing, I was just there like with the DJs, but I wasn't DJing. And man, one of the biggest lessons, like if that didn't happen, it would definitely would have happened to one of my shows later on if I didn't know that. So here's the lesson. People were in the pool having fun, and they hired us to like DJ their thing with whatever music they like. I don't even remember what they were listening to, but I do remember they're having fun and drinking, and like it's in the pool and it's big cool, a lot of people, and the DJ, I'm next to the DJ, and the DJ is spinning with Serato because that was like a requirement of the company. Because that boss guy, the asshole one that fell in love with me, he invested with a bunch of controllers, Serato controllers, and they work only with Serato. And Serato is a software, so you gotta use a computer. We have our computer at the party, and the computer takes a shit. It just goes black and from overheating. And we were in the shade, but LA gets really hot sometimes. Anyway, and that's when it's really bad. Like you're not at home, you are at the party, and your job is to play the music, but there's no music because it stopped. And you hear boo. I was like, oh my God. I wasn't even a DJ, but I felt so embarrassed and so like, oh no, what do we do? Fast forward, after like I played a few shows, and one show I'm playing in the desert. There's this guy that comes in with his computer in the desert, Mojave Desert, where it gets 140 degrees Fahrenheit. It's crazy. He comes in with his computer, with Tractor, and I'm like, man, I respect that. I love Tractor, but like that computer is not gonna last. Sure enough, it didn't, and of course he learned his lesson, but it was worse than mine because he was actually the DJ hired for that festival to play it. Yeah, pretty bad stuff. So where I'm leaning with that is like a lot of people first buy a controller, Serato or Tractor, that would work with software with their computer, and great, you can do it at home. I've got like quite a few oh my God. I have a standalone, I have CDJs, I have turntables, I have controllers, one with Tractor, one with Serato, and a standalone. And in a second, when I go through the videos, I'll just like run really quickly to show you what the difference is. But pretty much there's like two different main types of control surfaces when it comes to DJing. One is standalone, and the other one is with computer. Standalone, it's called standalone because it doesn't have a computer. Stands alone, like it works by itself. So turntables is more like a real instrument where you touch it, and a lot of people call it analog because you use records, vinyl. And I'll start with like sharing here. Can I share this from here? Here. DJ Khaled. Man, sometimes I'm so mean. I say it how it is. I told him that he needs to work out. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Yep, perfectly.
Yep.
Okay. So turntables. Oh, where's the sound?
There it is.
It has a mixer. It's a turntable. So in here we see two turntables with a record and a basic mixer, and he's scratching. This technique is used with turntables. It can be used with DJs as well, but like a lot of old school DJs, it's very respected in the DJ world when you can spin records. Oh, which reminds me that let me just get back so I can see you guys. Yeah, this is a very respected. Back to when I went to school and I got into like this turntable thing, it was so hard. It was so hard to mix vinyl, man, because you gotta use your ear and you can't cheat. How people say many oftentimes when you use a computer software, you have the bars lined up and you see in a little bit where like you can really adjust it, and you can't really go wrong if you're paying attention. It's just easy, like training wheels. With turntables, you can't do that because you can't visually see what's up. You have to listen to the sound and beat match it exactly at the same speed, one record to the other record, going from one of the records to the other record. And if you are off, it's going to be very audible. I'm going to mute you, Justin. Okay, you're muted yourself. Cool, thanks. Well, anyway, yeah. So this is this he's doing a scratching technique. Like there's many different scratching technique types, and it's really like looked up as like an old school way of, because in the past people just used turntables. You know, we didn't have all these digital helpers that we have now, where you can look at the screen and everything is right there for you, all your tracks, you know what's after what, you know how to like change tempo from everything. You can even like DJ with your mouse, with a computer, super easy. But uh, for the house, if you get it out on a gig, that might go really south real fast. So that's one thing. I wanted to share this other one. Here's a good setup. 2 techniques. That's a really good. Share this instead. It's a good setup. Why there's no? Duh. Yay! Man, old school stuff. Some of these songs I never liked before when they were out, like, and they were hits. But then years later, you look back and you're like, man, this shit was so good. Anyway, so this could be used also with Serato. You know, everything. The thing is that you can go really modular with absolutely everything. So you can have setups with where you have like that mixer can be used with a Serato and turntables. And these turntables, you can put time code on them instead of vinyl, and that could read your from your software as well. So it could be with turntable software hybrid. So it's pretty much, think of it as everything is interchangeable and modular. You can build upon this setup. You can put a bunch of turntables here. I think 4 outputs, like, okay, 2 more. Or you can put instruments. Like in my case, I sometimes put some pianos, like keyboards or synths, vocals with different vocal processors. You can go really crazy if you have some musical background, and you can build things, you know, kind of like engineer your setup. And it's very interchangeable and versatile. You can use it for many, many things. So these are turntables, right? We talked about it. It's using vinyl. That vinyl is like the music is played through this head with a needle, and it's amplified. It's different than the digital. So let me go back to this and stop it. No, I'm just gonna like turn it down a little. You see, the thing is that I'm like so paying attention at music when there's music that is just actually distracting for me. Yeah, what I wanted to say that this is more like a, people think of it more like an analog DJing, because you use vinyl. And again, on these turntables, you can use also time code, which is it looks like vinyl, but it's connected to your software, so you could use it with software, either Serato or Traktor. Those are softwares. Okay, so I show you this, and this one, what is this? Okay, here's the Serato. Oh, that's the Pioneer. Share this instead. Still playing Tomorrowland with Dmitry Vegas here. Okay, first I need to stop this one. Okay.
Released for beginner DJs. Let's find out.
Yeah, so this one is...
Here it is, the Pioneer DJ DDJ Flex 4, the DJ controller that takes the place of the
There's a
DDJ
bunch of...
400 in the lineup of
Okay, I'm not crazy about this. Well, I'm just gonna go over a few, but this is a controller. This is pretty much on the... can you see my mouse?
Yeah, I can see your mouse.
Oh, okay. So this here, it works as your turntable, left and then right turntable, and these are your controllers of like EQs, so lows, mids, highs, filters, and then of course these are your... everything is the same pretty much layout, with like slight differences. Of that mid part, it plays the part as the mixer between the turntables that I showed you earlier. So think of this left side as a turntable, this right side as a turntable, and then here's your mixer in the middle to connect them, and then to get the music out of there to some speakers. And next one is what is this? Like, oh, that's one of the Tractor controllers. Now, Tractor is a really versatile.
Like Serato.
It,
That's more factor.
No, this is one of the tractors. Yeah, there's quite a few tractor controllers. This is good for techno, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Tractor uses software. You can see. Can you see my mouse? Can you see my mouse?
I can't see it now. I was able to see it, but I can't see it.
Can you see it now?
Still can't see it.
Oh, wait, share this instead. I'm sorry, I was sharing a different video. Okay, you see the tractor?
Yep.
Okay, so this is... Here, let me turn it down a little bit because this is distracting for me. It's using tractor. It does have software, so you gotta use a computer. You can't go around it. And that's one of the controllers for tractor. And then this one is good for techno, and that's what I was saying. I was still sharing the other video. I'm sorry when I was saying that. There's a S4. Sharing this one instead. Okay. That's also a tractor controller. Probably better one because it's more versatile. You can mix more genres than just techno and house. And it's not like you can't do it with the other ones. It's just like some things are better for like certain types of music. That won't matter right now though. Anyway, this one is a really good one. I have this one. I love it, and I have a good traveling case. I toured Europe with it one time. I don't like to, I like the real deal. It feels cheap. It feels plasticky. It's very good one and it works well. But like the fact is that I need the computer with it. It really, I don't like that. But it's very good. You have 4 channels. You can output different things. Oh my god, I had such a good bundle. Like I use it for my house, okay? Because I bundle several mixers together with a bunch of control surfaces and turntables and keyboards and synths and other DJ gear, and also F1 like a pad for different remix decks where I put loops in it. So you can do some crazy stuff. It's good, but for the house. Yeah, this is the software. What is this, Serato? Yeah, Serato. This is what it looks like on the screen, on the computer screen. And at first, it might look a little intimidated. Oh, wait, I'm not sharing the tab. Share the tab. Can you see the Serato screen?
Yeah, I can see it now.
Okay, yeah. So at first, you might look a little intimidating, but it's actually simpler.
Oh wait,
than...
it says virtual DJ.
Right, but it's kind of like the same. You have decks. In this case, you have 4 decks. See, do you see my mouse? My mouse?
Yep. Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are your turntables, but you see them virtually in front of you, and you can see the wave, the sound wave, which is like your track, and you can kind of see where is bassy and where is thinner when there's vocals and things like that. And you can change that also with different coloring. You can make like your bass to be red and your vocals to be blue and so forth. Here on the bottom is your pretty much tree of track selection or playlists. So you can have like, 90s pop or whatever and hit that. Oops, I just stopped it. I was imagining that, but or sharing my screen with the actual software. Anyway, so left side, yeah, you can have like trees with your music and playlists, and you can do. It's usually very versatile, but like they all work the same. Like Tractor, Virtual DJ, Serato, they all have like the same, pretty much the same structure of like you have the music on the left, and then when you click in it, it expands a folder with whatever music you put in it. And then some more bells and whistles, but like, start with basics. Um, that's again, how it looks like on the software side. Oh, what is that? Serato Pro. Oh yeah. I like this because this is what exactly explains, like you have like the different playlists. Yeah. Oh, okay. That's exactly the device I learned with. I remember I was telling you about this asshole teacher, employer, whatever, boss in the valley that I had to drive. Man, that it was so far because I was living in Hollywood, and the guy's garage where we were meeting was in the valley, and it was really bad timing. And like 1 hour just to get there in traffic at 5 o'clock. Crazy on a daily. But what I'm saying is that he bought a bunch of controllers and he was using this controller. He like it was a requirement. You needed to use Serato. You remember the one that took a shit at the pool party with the snobs? That's what we're using. On Serato. And there's a bunch of tutorials online. Like there's a plethora of tutorials. But yeah, here on the top is your software. That's how it is. Oh, remember what I told you, like in the beginning of the workshop? Like you could like control this literally with your mouse, and these are how like the top part. Oh my god, I'm not sharing.
Oh yeah, that's Serato.
I was not sharing the whole time. I was like, sure. Oh
Sharing
my
with
god.
but not
Yes,
Serato.
I need to be like more mindful about like which tab I'm sharing because like I don't see the screen where I'm sharing it at.
Oh,
Um,
which
I,
tab?
I
I see.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so Serato, what I was saying, like this here is very well explained um, in this video, but like you see these tracks. That's the one on the top is the left, the one on the bottom is the right, and that's what I was saying. Like they're really nicely lined. It's easy. You can pretty much DJ with your mouse. You know,
You'll notice the sample play panel.
see how they're playing at the same time, and you can actually manipulate that with your mouse or on the controller with the controller. You know, and it's just you can't really mess up if you know what you're doing. If you're comfortable. It's not like vinyl. Vinyl is not that easy. That's why it's so fun. Yeah, this is Serato. And I have one more here. Yeah. Oh, let me share the tab. Yeah, this time I remembered.
The crew bringing the ruckus, no doubt. Yo, I'm not new to this, I'm true to this. The roughest dream team reigns supreme like the
I know. Can you see the tab?
They did a pretty good demo with that.
What happened to Ro?
I don't know. She totally.
Oh no.
Yeah, it all.
Either phone died or service went out for a
Maybe
moment.
computer died or something.
We just lost Guta too. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh no, we're jumping like
Well,
flies.
she's back. Technical difficulties, am I right? Oh, she's back.
Yeah, I accidentally pressed the wrong button.
Oops. I figured it was something, but just
Yeah,
did a whole bunch of guessing, really.
Yeah, I was sharing. It's still playing in my ear.
What happened to the guy with his laptop? Did his computer melt?
What guy?
Well, you said don't bring a laptop to the desert. This one guy, it was like 140 or something, and it
Yeah.
stopped working.
Yeah. And let me just turn on. Oh my God. I just want to turn this up. Yeah. So he couldn't play, and he was he had a bunch of tracks that he downloaded specifically for the girl that booked him. You know, and he couldn't even play his music because also, the thing is that he is only comfortable with his tractor controller, and we were using it was like one of those standalone Pioneer controllers, and he's only comfortable with his tractor controller, so he couldn't even play his music, and it works a little bit different on. I hear feedback. Yeah, it works a little bit different on. When you have your music on tractor, it stays on your machine, and on a standalone, you have to have a DJ stick to put the music, in the other controller or whatever you're playing. And he had everything on his computer, so he couldn't even play all the tracks that he bought and prepared for the party. And like it was really bad lesson for him. Like I felt for him. Yeah.
Yeah, that's such a bummer.
Yeah. So best way is really to have a standalone.
Yeah, I think it's good practice to always know what equipment you're going to be using, and like industry standard is usually the Pioneer stuff and
Yeah.
Rekordbox nowadays.
Yeah. So what we're watching here with Tomorrowland, in the beginning, it's just like my tabs are all over.
Really, is
But yeah.
everybody using Rekordbox these days?
I think so. For the most
yeah,
part.
the thing is that your Rekordbox is like a library of your tracks, and they get analyzed there. Analyzed, so you know where the first beat is, and it's translatable on different devices. When you plug your stick with music, is organized in Rekordbox. Rekordbox is used with Pioneer DJ equipment, but Pioneer DJ equipment could be used on standalone by itself, and it's an industry standard. So every festival you go play at, it's going to be a Pioneer, especially like bigger events that are more established. So with that said, you're limiting yourself. It depends what you want to do with it. Like if you're going to DJ in your house, but that might change. Your priorities might change. Like in many cases, we think one thing, but then it turns something else. We want something else, and we find out this whole universe of things. Like, for example, for me, I went DJing for the wrong reasons. My reasons were to spin my own fucking tracks. That's it. Very selfish. But why I stayed, because after my first festival, I fell in love with the dance floor and completely just devoted myself. Like, it's so powerful, the highest high I've ever experienced, and still up to date, like every single time, because of the synergetic and joy exchange. But I didn't know that. I went in for the rankers and stayed for that. So like priorities change, and what I could advise you with, I will always ask any questions, or later ask me when you do your own research. I can also give you pointers where to buy equipment from. You can get used that is way cheaper than new, and it would just be as good. Just test it, of course. Kind of like keyboards, so you always want to test things. But CDJs is the industry standard, which they are a complete replica of turntables. It's just in digital format. So they're like standalone CDJ, and then you have a mixer to connect the CDJs, and they route the music out to speakers, and then another CDJ. And most bigger festivals have at least four CDJs. This is the CDJ. Oh, share. CDJ on the left, CDJ on the right. It's kind of like, it kind of looks like a controller, but can you see my mouse? Can you see my mouse?
No, I don't see your mouse.
Can you see my mouse now?
No. Man, those are really advanced from the last time I used something like that.
Okay, so what are you looking at? Let me just turn down the volume a little bit. Yeah, it's kind of like everything else. It looks a little complicated until it's not.
Well, no, I mean it's the same stuff, but it's like,
Yeah.
I never had touch screens on the ones I had. They had a couple like little.
Yeah. The newer ones do have the screens. It's easier, but yeah, they function the same way. So your left one is one turntable, your right one is another turntable in this case, and then you have the mixer in the middle, and all three units are separate, and they're connected via cables on the back. So it's the same concept. It's just more versatile, and these are very robust. They don't break. I mean, they do sometimes, but like really not near as anything else. And that's why they're industry standard. They're really the best.
So are they actually playing CDs or are they playing USB sticks?
Yeah, both. You can play CDs and shove them underneath, but you can play sticks. Now with CDs, you gotta be careful because it's kind of like vinyl. It might skip.
Yeah, I mean I burn my own CDs, but I haven't had.
Yeah.
I think I had one CDJ like in like 2000 or maybe 1998. I don't know. It was like the first one that came out. It was like a silver one.
Yeah, I mean, they're different colors. Like I have one of my controllers is pink. It's really pink.
Yeah, I never had pink ones. I just had a silver one, and it didn't do a whole lot. That's for sure.
Yeah,
And I wasn't very good at just hearing.
Yeah. So it was like you put a CD in. That's how you were using it.
Yeah, the only thing you could do with it. This is like super old. I mean, this is like 20 years ago. Like
Yeah.
it was just like 4 buttons. I think it was like a start, a stop, and these cheesy effects, and then like it was like a circle, but you couldn't really. It didn't feel very good. And it never seemed to work that good to me. And maybe there was like some kind of pitch control, but that's before they could make pitch control. Not make it go up and down. So like it would. If you went faster, it would go up, and if you went slower, it would go down in pitch. But they couldn't make the tempo change. I mean, it was super old. I think it was like a CDJ 1000. Like that's all they had back then.
Yeah, I think that if you want to learn how to DJ, anything would do. It's just like some things you would want to replace sooner than other. As I said, I have a lot of stuff, and I haven't sold anything because like I like them all. It's kind of like you get obsessed and keep buying. They're all different. But it's important to know the difference. Like if you cannot. If you're playing a party and you cannot go without the computer, you have to have a backup plan because you see what I didn't mention. This is just like way too. Can I just do a little bit? Yeah, it's too loud.
No, but it sounds good though.
Yeah, so I was thinking that maybe I should have mentioned that pool party where shit hit the fan. We did have a backup. And that was like a phone with playing playlist from Spotify, and it took a minute to switch, but enough time to where you could hear the pool people, "Woo! What the fuck? You fired!" I mean, everybody's drunk and partying, and there was no fight or anything, but it was very embarrassing, and that's how I learned. And another thing, if you are thinking of doing this seriously and you show up with your Serato controller or Tractor controller and you're not Dimitri Vegas like these guys or Paris Hilton, you're going to be frowned upon because people already have their setup usually, and it's professional setup, and people don't look necessarily at Serato and Tractor as professional setup. They look at it as an extra headache having to set up and think on more room on the table and potential hiccups of the software. all like club promoters and owners, smaller festival. So like unless you're somebody really really big, where beforehand your manager contacts the place and say this is what I'm playing on, you know, and then everything is laid out, and it's you have space for your to put your stuff, and it's set up before the show, and you have like you know sound checks and all that. That's all right, because I can tell you right now. Some of you probably know this guy. Man, I forgot his name. It's like he's a superstar from a show Jersey Shores on MTV a long time ago.
Like Polly D or something like that,
Paulie
right?
D. Thank you. Yeah, so I was working at Avalon Club, their PR and artist management, and we booked Paulie D. The guy was 20 grand. We paid him 25,000 to come and play a 45-minute set. 25,000. And I made sure, because at the time I was like learning, right? And I made sure I'm backstage with him, watching him what he's doing. And then before that, I was in the green room with him, and he was really nice. There was a bunch of like older, bigger chicks going at him, and he's like, "You can take pictures, but you cannot touch me." And he was very polite, very nice. I love that, very professional. Because they won some kind of a giveaway for a meet and greet for his green room. So anyway, we paid that guy $25,000. The contract was for 20, but at 25 because he got commissions of like ticket sales. And his set was mediocre, but he played Serato. He went with his laptop, and he didn't even play 1 hour set. It was a 45-minute set. 45 minutes, 25 grand. And very good looking guy, very good energy. But it's because who he is, you know, like he had a lot of going on with our show, the MTV show. So he's like already famous in a different area. So he has a lot of fan base in LA and made a lot of money to the club. We booked him. And yeah, he played Serato. We had absolutely no problem with that because he had his space. He was beforehand. It was already set. You're gonna play. I'm gonna play Serato. Whatever. I need that much space. I need that many waters. So it's like it was set up. But if you're a Joe Schmo that just starts, showing up with your own equipment is frowned upon at any event, really. Unless you prior talk, and even if you talk with the promoters or whoever throws the party, it's still like your other pips, like other DJs are gonna be like, oh, can you just like play on whatever? Why do you need to bring your own equipment? You know, that's just like rule of the thumb. But then if you're just starting and you're doing it at home, it really doesn't matter. They all do the same thing. Mix one song with the other song. Some have more bells and whistles. Do you guys have questions? Input?
Yeah, I think I didn't realize everybody was just using standalone CDJ 3000s.
For it's an industry standard, and Justin here is a DJ, and he started on turntables like me, but he started way long ago before me, and he could probably say a few things about the control surfaces. I know he hasn't played on that many different ones, but he definitely has played on industry standards and turntables as well. Justin, you want to say something? Maybe.
Yeah. Well, I think turntables is a great way to, start learning. I think I actually did a paper in high school when you were talking about the turntables being a musical instrument. That was like the title of my exit exam was turntables are an instrument, and I kind of treated it as that because it kind of forces you to learn the basics of beat matching, and but the digital age, it's a lot easier, and like how you described it, Rose, like it's kind of helps you out. It's kind of like on training wheels a little bit, but
yeah,
I think you explained it good. But all that turntable talk and vinyls, like, man, I want to get on the decks and spin some records soon later.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
you on that.
But as far as like the bells and whistles, I mean, yeah. Uh, as far as I've gotten there's effects, but I just started to get into looping. You're more familiar and more advanced with looping tricks and stuff like that. But coming from like a turntable background, I mostly just get down on the CDJs and just use the pitch and the little nudge wheel to get it kind of in sync. And there's more like visual effects. I mean, you could see the waveform kind of in the song, and that would help you visually, like, get to a point where you want to start the track or mix into, or where the drops are, how you want to mix the track. So the visual aspects of the waveform on the CDJs definitely helps and enhances your mixing.
Yeah,
But I
that's it.
mean, you could probably see that on the record. Like, there's grooves, some are darker and lighter than others.
Not really.
But a little bit.
I mean, get a magnifying glass and bend over, yeah, for 5 minutes, but you don't got no time when you're mixing. But like,
Right.
yeah, one thing that probably wasn't very clear now that you reminded me of to mention that, like, that waveform that you were seeing on the CDJ and on the software, you have that visually. You have the waveform on the software. Doesn't matter if it's Tractor or Serato, you see it and you see the groove and the beats, but you also have it on the CDJs. Now, on CDJs, it's not quite as easily to notice how it's synced than it is on the software, because it's like right above each other. But the newer ones, it's way easier, CDJs. And they're more versatile, but again, like, you can do a lot more for less money with a standalone mixer, standalone controller. Pioneer would be the best. If you have things you could plug in, keyboards, synths, turntables, CDJs, you could put, if you have a standalone mixer, standalone controller, you could add turntables to it, bundle it, because it's got like input on the back. You can have anything, you can plug in anything, really. Anything you want. By anything, I mean just like the sky's the limit, but just to give you an example, turntables, other CDJs, more CDJs, anything vocal controlling, surfs, what I still feel feedback. I think something with just his phone, like when he's not muted. Anyway, yeah, keyboard synths, other turntables, so you can put anything on the standalone controller. And the ones that are with software, most Serato ones, like, there are different types, so you just have to look what are the specs, what you can plug in, how many inputs, because some of them, the smaller ones, are just with 2 inputs. So if you have only 2 inputs, you can plug in two things on the back, and in one case it could be like a microphone only with something else. So if you are thinking about bundling things, think about more channels, to have more channels on the back to plug things in, and inputs, and then maybe outputs as well if you want to distribute that with like different sound systems. That's for standalone. But as I said, I have my Tractor S4 has 4 channels, and it's really good if I want to bundle it with things in the house, because otherwise I have to take computer out, and I usually plug in another external mixer into it, and that other mixer has a bunch of channels on it, if that makes any sense.
Man, the power you would have with the V10 mixer and what you can do with it, with all the inputs.
Yes.
The
One
V10,
day
you
I'll
mean
get
like a
going.
one?
It's our all-time favorite, like, Christmas gift. It's been on for years.
Yeah, I
Nice.
even made a song about that. Yeah, V10 has 6 channels and complete frequency control. That thing is crazy. Like, what are you gonna do with it? It's just a mixer. It's not a controller, so like you have to still plug in CDJs or turntables or whatever it is. Like, if you want to mix with it, it's just a mixer. But oh man, It's so
Well,
hard.
I used to have a Soundcraft. I think it was a DM500. You could hook up 3 turntables to it and 6 other sources, and then you could slide between them, and they were all dual input channels. So you would pick what input you wanted off the channels. So I think you could probably, I don't know, you could I think you could hook up like at least 10 things to that thing between the dual inputs, and then you could crossfade between the left group and the right group. But it was pretty powerful. But I remember you could put 3 phono inputs into that thing, and I had like a 1200, but it wasn't like the 1200 everybody uses. It was like the precursor to it. So it didn't have quite the direct drive that like the 1200s had, but it was, and I had to put like a Vestax head on it or something, to, like make it work, because it like or Orphatin. I think I finally got an Orphatin head, and I threw it on there.
Yeah, I currently solve this problem with bundling a bunch of mixers, one plugging into another and into another, and like I also have like an analog where I plug in a bunch of live instruments in it. But the V10 we were talking with Justin, why I love it so much, because it has a complete frequency effect on the effects themselves. So it's just like, let's say you have a filter effect, for example, and you can like move the frequency, and also you can make it, you can cut it and add it on the filter itself, not the frequency by itself, but on the filter. So it's like another layer of effects that you could really, your expressiveness can go nuts with that thing. It's just, there's so many things you can do, and then you can have it rhythmically changing over time. So like, yeah, it's now this is becoming an industry standard V10 for bigger festivals, like this one, for example. I'm pretty sure that all of their stages have a V10, but it's a new thing. Like, the last in Europe earlier, maybe 3 years, but in the States since last year, it's an industry standard now for bigger parties or festivals. V10, yeah. I'd so love to get my hands on one. I've played it at shows, but like I don't own it yet. Yeah. Anyone has any questions? Why is my computer dying? I thought it was plugged. Huh. Oh, okay. I think one of my dogs tripped over the cable or something, and like the strip got plugged out.
It's that black dog.
Probably. So now he's always getting in trouble. Any questions? How was that?
Well, I didn't realize that the FLX4 through the tractor Serato. That's the Serato only mixer. But I like the control surface of it, because it seemed like they'd made a better control surface. Like, because I was just thinking about something that I just put in front of my computer for right now, because I don't want to buy CDJs 3000s until like I get comfortable.
Yeah,
And I
most
was
people go this way. Of course, it's just it's a matter of like getting comfortable to really mix. The thing is, what I don't like to start with those control surfaces is like you can see the screen, and then you become more visual than hearing. And I have a few friends that unfortunately went that way, and it's actually not helping you later on.
I couldn't hear. That was my problem. I
You want
tried
to
to beat
hear,
mix, and I can't hear.
yeah,
Like, I can't hear. I
right,
can't do
right.
it.
That's
So,
that's the
like,
thing that you need to double down on. And if you get Serato, for example, or Traktor, you will visually get used to it, but your ear is gonna get lazier. I call it lazy ear, because like your eyes get to do all the work, not so much your ears. But if you train your ear first, then and anything else wouldn't hurt it. But this might actually make you not hear it in the future even more, because you would train your eye to look at it. And I got a lot of friends, like including one of my best friends. She's like that, and she can't hear. Yeah, and the thing is that it's very audible. Like if your tracks are off, because bass with bass, and it's a little off, even a little off, you hear it. So it's called train wrecking. So it's very important. Like number one, if you are to mix anything, is mix one song with the other without train wrecking. Mix three in a row without train wrecking, and then keep on doing that. And add more songs. Create a set. Don't worry about effects or any bells and whistles and loops and fancy stuff. It's easy to get carried away. But the thing is that these things come later. Kind of like you have a solid foundation, and on top of that solid foundation, you create everything else in the house. And like with studying any music seriously, you have like a music theory, and then on the top of the music theory, you build everything else later on, to become a versatile musician that like knows a lot of stuff and can teach other people things, because you have good understanding. The same thing with this one. For you to have a stable bass, you want to hear it. This is the main thing. Hear the beat and hear one going into the other one without train wrecking. And once you are there, then you're going to add effects and filters and loops and all the fancy schmancy stuff like remix decks and extra stuff on top, or keyboards and whatever. Because that is the thing that is the hardest. That's why, like, when I started with turntables, I realized, oh man, that's actually it makes me work for my money. Like it's harder, because like I could not see the grade that I was seeing before. I was like, oh man, this is boring. But then I couldn't see it, and I was just like listening from one vinyl to the other, and that I didn't have nowhere to see how fast is this going, how fast is this going BPM wise. I just had to listen with my headphones, one ear this, the other ear this, and then being able to match them via the pitch control. Like, okay, is this going fast? I need to slow it down so it could go at the same speed as this one, so I can blend them in together seamlessly. So at the end of the day, this is like the core thing, going from one track to the other, which is like really easy with the software. But if you are moving to other, um, even CDJs that shows you, like the separate ones that show you the wave, it's still a little harder, a lot harder than the software ones, where you can see it like clearly big right in front of you, and it's like lines. The beats are lined from the top track and the bottom track, or left and right. They're lined to where it's so precise, and you see it, that you're definitely not training your ear. So if I remove the screen or close the laptop for you, you're gonna be like, oh, what am I doing? So for you to train your ear, you want to train your ear like without looking really, and it will be harder. It would be harder. But if you do have the software, you will have a tendency more to do that than listen, because it's a lot harder in the beginning, to hear the beats. You'll be like, oh, I suck, I can't do that for a long time, or long enough to where you would want to do the software. Yeah. To me, it was boring. I didn't get into it because of it until I got to turntables. But with that said, way too many before my eyes, they start with the software, and they have a problem. Especially when you play a show, you're extra nervous. Some people are very, very stage fright, and that's when you get like rigidity a little bit, and you kind of forget everything. And you can't hear, and people are talking to you, and you get distracted by this guy, that girl, whatever, and you can't hear it even more. uh, you know and then you don't have the software there. Yeah. So
Well, I think I was just gonna get like an inexpensive controller
mhm.
to just, I don't know, do a little streaming experiment.
if you are if you are very, what's the word, disciplined not to look at screen, get Serato controller. You can find for like $100 on Craigslist, or better yet, use this app OfferUp, because OfferUp has reviews, and it's kind of like more verifiable than Craigslist. But anything you
Yeah.
get, always tested. If it's like a second hand, brand new, I don't know if it's worth it, because you will upgrade, sooner or later. And
More likely.
I say that, but I keep all my stuff. Like, I'm very clingy to my equipment. I love it. It's my joy.
I've had stuff since 1992 that I won't sell.
Dang. I think I do have only one piano since then. That's like that's all I can remember back then. But anyway, yeah, that's that. If you are thinking about controller, which is probably better, the closest one to CDJs and to turntables, it's a standalone Pioneer
Mm.
XD. So that one, you have your stick in it, and it works, and you can plug in turntables. Yeah, it's all right. It's a good one, but it doesn't need software. But it can work with software, Rekordbox. It could be like both, with software and without.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't understand Record Box because, like, I
Yeah,
get Serato, and I've like
yeah, yeah.
seen
It's
people, and I've
it's
used Tractor eons ago.
yeah. They're all kind of the same, but a little different. And Rekordbox, you can use it without the software, and it's a Pioneer product. Pioneer, which is like the industry standard, so that's why you can use it without. But Rekordbox, sooner or later, you will have the software, because this is where you put your libraries together. Because when your stick has a Rekordbox on it and it's formatted this way, it's read by the devices. Otherwise, your stick might not get read. And it happens a lot. People go to a festival or whatever with their stick, no Rekordbox. It's like, how do you not know? Sometimes common sense is not common practice.
So
And
you need Record Box in addition to, like, to use it with other stuff. It formats the sticks.
yeah, it does. Short answer is yeah, but you don't have to use the software. But you will have to have the software if you're playing big gigs, because like your stick won't work otherwise with industry standard equipment, which
With
we
the
need your stick.
CDJ like 3000s, it won't work unless you format it with Record Box.
Some sticks work, but I would not risk it, because I've seen it way too many often times. People plug their stick. Oh, it ain't working. Well, are you using Rekordbox? Because like it's a free software. There is a paid version for more bells and whistles, but you don't need that. The free version is just to organize your music into a stick, so you can actually play everywhere. Versus might play, might not. Also, when you have a stick, you have to have plan B, C, D, more sticks. Uh, Learn that as well by doing it. And because sometimes a stick gets corrupted. Sometimes the equipment will corrupt your stick, and you gotta have a second stick. It has happened to me in a very big show in LA, where I'm playing and I have a mixer, a V10. For me, it was new. It was my first time playing on V10 actually, and it was plugged in with 4 CDJs, 4 separate units. Okay, so the reason this is done is because, like, in case one of it takes shit, you have 3 more to play. All 4 stopped working. So I'm playing and I see one of it, the first CDJ on the left goes into emergency loop. And I'm like, oh no. And emergency loop is like when it just goes in a loop
Yeah,
and you
it
cannot
won't
do
play a new
anything.
track.
You cannot
Won't play
do
a new track.
anything with it.
It's
It
stuck.
just like keeps going, and you gotta shut it off. So one of them went, and I was like, oh no, but that's okay. And I'm mixing the next track, and I was like, I'm gonna turn off, restart the CDJ from the back end while I'm playing a show. And uh, that's why the CDJs are so industry standards. They're so versatile because like each one is very modular. So like one decides not to work, you have three more. That's why I usually have four, and people usually play on two, and then two more extra just in case. And some people add a third one to their mix and a fourth one and whatever. But you have more, right, on bigger events. And since they are modular and you can turn them off, you could like do things like this. Oh my god! But one stopped, and I mixed in the next track for the second CDJ here while I was restarting this one, and that second one it went to emergency loop, and I'm like, oh no! And I'm literally playing the show, and like I have to keep like dancing. So people like, oh, it was I stopped breathing, I swear, for I don't know, the whole time. I had to fix that because the third and the fourth also went out at the same time. That never happens, man, but it happened. It happened. It just happened, and I had to take care of it. It was Justin, he was leaking deep, that show.
Yeah, that's a big show right there.
Massive.
What a nightmare situation.
Massive, I know.
I don't think you've had any problems since I hooked you up with that flash drive. That's a solid state, and
It wasn't from my flash drive. No, I never
no,
had.
Hmm.
Yeah, it wasn't the flash drive. But I restarted all four CDJs, and I restarted them not at the same time. You know, so they didn't like went out. Oh, but I mean they did go at the same time, but they were like I was already restarting the first one while the second one was going out. When I was moving, I was moved the track. I played the next track that is played on this third one. I mixed from the second to the third one while I was restarting the second one, and then that third one was going out, and I was like, holy no! It's because I have only one CDJ left, the fourth one. And then I looked at the first one was already restarted, and it was like the screen was doing the like I'm restarting, right? So like the fourth one, when it was going out already, the first one was starting. So I'm like, okay, that one is gonna go into that one while the rest restart, and like we're gonna continue the show, which the show didn't stop. Like nothing, music didn't stop, but I was not breathing. I was like the whole time. But I mean, nobody could tell because like I had friends in the the dance floor. I got friends, and I was like asking them, "Hey, did you notice how freaked out?" I was like, "No, no, that's good. Yeah." Everybody was having fun, and yeah.
Hmm.
So I mean, I don't know. I don't know. That never happens. Just one of the learning things that you just have to be ready for everything. But also, we were going to like you have to have another stick because like what Jesse was saying, like that stick. He gave me this one stick that it's pretty good and solid, and you always have to have like a second or third one because sometimes your stick might get corrupted, and won't play anything on anywhere on any equipment.
Mhm.
So it's important to have plan B and C, like when you DJ parties.
That's good. Now I think I'm just gonna do an experiment, and I probably don't need that much. So just like I don't know, one of the softwares, and maybe like just a not that expensive controller, like that FLX4. I think seems like I could use it pretty well. It made sense to me anyway when I saw it.
Yeah, and for the software controls, you can get an inexpensive for like $100 and offer up. You know, you just when you go to the app, look in the area and maybe add 50 miles, so that way you can have more options. And it's all review based, so it's pretty safe, especially for something like that. Around $100, and
Yeah,
then once the
sometimes I buy
software,
it from Guitar Center because then I can take it back if I don't like it. I just
yeah,
ship it back to them or
yeah,
rock it back to the store.
yeah. This one would be new though.
Yeah, if I buy like a FLX4 is not that expensive. It's like 300, I think. So it's not that bad. Good
Yeah,
enough for an experiment.
yeah, I guess so. Also, for that money, you can get a standalone. Standalone is like okay, so these softwares are like specific price, and then a little more expensive are the standalone, and then
No, the standalones are like $3 grand. Like they're
no,
yeah.
It depends what.
What kind
You
of standalone are you talking about? Because like I have not found a standalone that's very inexpensive.
Yeah, that's also a good thing to buy second hand. You know, because if it's working, it's working. It's not like, oh, it's old or no, kind of like keyboards. They stay good. You know, but please
Except for
stop.
mine, they all
My
seem
my
to
dog
break.
was, huh?
Except for mine, they all seem to break. I've had to
You're
replace so many keyboards. Like they all like just went bad.
like what, the
I
software
had
or
to
the
like
case?
fix yeah, I have to fix the power supplies. The power supplies just like gave up. Like I've had like
Um,
2 or 3 that just like have gone bad like in this year and I had to go take them apart and fix the power supply.
yeah,
Awful. Never had
yeah.
that
I mean,
happen before.
that's a that's like a thing for electronics, I guess. A power supply for a keyboard, like the back end or the adapter.
Now it's like internal to take out you open the whole thing up, take it
Mm,
apart, and then
yeah,
like mess with the power supply board because the power supply board don't work anymore. Like they just gave
no
up.
idea. Yeah, no
It happened a
idea.
couple. I had to buy one because I broke it, so I had to buy a $75 power supply to fix my Supernova, and then I got a EX5 that's like dead, so I gotta like take out its power supply and fix it because it just gave up like 3 months ago. It just quit.
Do you use a strip, power strip?
No, I mean these are well, it's like in this rack over here.
No, no, I hear you. But I I had one of my keyboards took a shit like that. A Yamaha, which are really strong ones. And it happened because so where I was living before I moved to this house, in Hollywood, it's my house is like a castle, old. It's built in 1925, so it's power in the house is like well, not
Oh
stable
yeah.
or
Well, you
wobbly.
you def yeah, you got definitely issues with houses that are not like
Yeah,
more than 20
yeah.
years old.
So you always want to use like a power strip to plug any kind of expensive equipment, even computers.
Well, you
You know.
you have UPSs, so I have everything running off of UPSs, and UPSs are plugged into the walls because there's brownouts, and the brownouts will mess up all the power supplies. So I have UPSs, uninterruptible power supplies, big giant, big giant boxes that cost way too much money that everything is plugged into. So if the power goes out, like the equipment stays on,
Yeah,
like
this is my
big giant.
beyond my comprehension of electricity.
Yeah, you have to have the UPS because a surge protector won't protect the power supply. A surge protector only protects incoming current that's too hot, and it'll stop incoming current at the surge protector, but it won't stop like a brownout or a rolling blackout or anything like that. That'll still damage your equipment. I've lost a
Mm.
lot of equipment through problems with the power coming into the house. So then I got UPSs and I bought, I don't know, a couple $1,000s worth of UPSs. And then I put them all over the equipment. So the equipment has to plug into the UPS before it goes there because it damaged the equipment. And I've lost thousands of dollars worth of equipment because it got damaged from power problems with the power company.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
So, I've had to replace a lot of equipment. And so then I bought all the UPSs to handle it so that it stops breaking my equipment because it's like annoying.
For sure, always.
Especially when the equipment's old and it's hard to like, I have to service it myself because it's not like,
Mm.
it's old equipment. You have to like take it apart and figure out what's wrong with it and then try to put it back together again.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to do that.
Well, yeah, but I had electronic training. I had to go to school and learn how to repair stuff.
Yeah, I have no idea about any of that stuff. One time I opened a couple of my keyboards to fix their keys, but it was more mechanical thing because the keys got popped out because like my dogs were like playing in the house and one of them popped on one of my keyboard stands, and the keyboard, and it's pretty heavy one. It's a workstation. not just a keyboard. So like the keyboard went up in the air, and I was seeing it in a slow mo. I swear. I was like, no, and the keyboard went up, flipped like this, and it fell on its keys, and I was like, no. And yeah, quite a
Oh
few
my
keys
goodness.
popped. Yeah, I know, and I love that one. Quite a few keys popped out of place, and I was like, no, this looks so painful. So I opened it, and it was mechanical. I don't understand about anything electrical, can't sew or anything inside the cells and things like that. But the keys, I could see how it works, and I put them back in place, and it was working. I was like, maybe they won't even, maybe they detach completely. I don't even know how that works. So yeah, it was working. So I did that with another keyboard that also was like that. Actually, I bought that one from OfferUp because I had to get a very quick keyboard and a small one. So like I bought the cheap one, and one of the keys
Wow.
was up, and I was like, oh, I know how to fix that. So I opened it on the back, and I fixed it, and it works. But like nothing electrical, can't. My mother is an electric engineer, but I don't know nothing about that.
Yeah, the keys are usually they have like a U groove. And so, it's like this and it just clicks in. So usually they just click in and then, they kind of click off or the U groove's upside down, so it's like this one is thinner than that one.
Hmm.
So there's like a board and they just click in and then you click off and then they pop up. So usually just click them in. It's usually how a lot of them are kind of in there or at the back ends, like where the top of the key is to the keyboard case. It has like I don't know. It's they do a couple different ones depending on they're weighted or not weighted. Like I
Hmm.
have one that's weighted and it's busted, but I can't fix it
Wow.
because they don't make the part anymore. So I have
Mm.
to get a 3D printer and print new
Oh
parts
wow.
if I want to fix that one.
Mm.
And I got 3 broken keys on this like really nice Roland A90EX, but like the little piece got busted like just after years. It just disintegrated. So I have to buy new ones, but you can't buy them. So I have to like get a 3D printer, and I don't know. I haven't wanted to do that, so it's
Hmm.
just it's kind of broken.
Yeah, I have a couple ones like that too. And one, it might be the power supply because I don't know nothing electric. It's just like stop working. And I really love this keyboard because it's light and weighted. That's another thing where we were saying like, oh, I can tell you about keyboards. So like one thing is you want to have a weighted keyboard because this is teaching your hand, and you can have better dynamics, how far to press down, and it's closer to like a piano than just a keyboard, and then you have a better technique. But that one, that's why I like the. I mean, I still like it. It just doesn't work, and I think it's a power supply thing because it turns on, but nothing turns on. Like it just turns on, and nothing works in it.
Yeah, that sounds like it either blew a fuse or
Yeah,
one of the little connectors like came loose.
yeah.
As each of the boards, they have like usually they have multiple boards, and each of those boards have connectors. But sometimes the internal battery goes bad if it's old, and the internal battery goes bad, then it'll just not work anymore because the internal battery went bad and you have to replace the internal
Mhm.
battery. And the Yamahas are terrible because I had a couple Yamahas and they were awful. They're awful to take apart. And then
Oh
like
yeah.
both the batteries went bad and I had to replace both of the batteries. Like I was like, it's like I don't buy any more older Yamaha stuff because it's like just awful to work on.
It's got like 200 screws on the back. But I like
Yeah,
Yamahas because
yeah, that's
they're
what I
very
like.
strong and sturdy and take a beating when you bring them. I just put them in trunk. I don't even need a carry like a case. I just carry them like this, and they're light. Especially the ones that are just a keyboard with like a few sounds, and it's not all the bells and whistles of a workstation. Because I also have a Yamaha
Mm.
workstation, and it's very heavy, but also very
Yeah,
versatile. But all of my Yamahas are weighted. I always get them weighted because it's very important for the hands, for better control and dynamics. And I do love it for this reason. It's just very sturdy, robust, and takes a beating when it comes to carrying it around. That one
Yeah.
It's just the power supply. It's something small. I know it because like the whole thing turns on, but it doesn't work. And the other thing that something similar happened is my push control. That is my control for Ableton Live,
Yeah.
where you can do all the loops and things, and it's crazy stuff. But the same thing, the thing turns on, but then it doesn't do anything else. It's not recognized by my laptop, and I also give it to friends. I was like, maybe because I have an older version of the software, it doesn't recognize it. But yeah, my friends also with like brand new Ableton don't recognize the device. So something happened with the actual device, and maybe this needs like an update or something. I
Yeah,
don't
reflash the firmware.
no idea. And I try to contact the people. It's like out of warranty right now. It's because like I got it a long time ago, and I just need to find somebody to open it for me, and get inside like with electronics knowledge, know what click there's something there, both the keyboard and the push control.
Yeah, the keyboards I switched to because I got sick of heavy keyboards is I just went to Nord Stage. So I have like a Nord Stage 2 EX and a Nord Stage 3. They're expensive, but they play like a piano and they're super light. So but they're like kind of you want to put them in cases like when you travel them
I was
because
gonna
they can
say
get nicked
yeah.
really fast.
Yeah.
So they're not like they're not the I don't know. I wouldn't say that thing is I mean, I would put it in a case if I took it anywhere, but it's
Mhm.
super light and it plays. It's the only thing that I was able to make it feel and sound like a piano, and they had really good sounds on them. And
Yeah.
so I switched all my piano sounds to just those, and that's the only thing I use. And then I bought the Nord Stage 2 EX, and then I was gonna and then I bought the Stage 3, but they're really expensive, but they're I guess that's why so many people like them because they're just super light and they sound really good.
And
So
look
I
good.
stopped.
They look good too. They
Yeah,
sound
they
good.
look good. They look
Yeah.
good. And so I got rid of the Roland stuff that I had and the Yamaha stuff and the Korg stuff and everything else and I just went to the Nords and they're really good. And so I like this is an older the Stage 2 EX is really old, but that's like what I do like most of my stuff with.
Mm. Do you find that like when you say I got rid of, do you sell your stuff? How do you get rid of it? Like how do you do that even? How
Yeah,
does it give you the heart to it's your babies?
I mean, they used to be my babies, but I don't know. There's so many that I haven't played for so long, and I just got sick of fixing stuff. When it gets old, it just eventually breaks. So I just said, I don't really need what I needed. I was mostly buying stuff because I didn't know what I needed, and so I wanted to kind of play with everything. And then I kind of figured out what I liked and I didn't like, and if something was just too complicated to use, I was like, I never used it. So I started selling that kind of stuff. And so there's some stuff that's, it's really old and I really like it. It's really simple, but and so I just started selling on Reverb and I just started selling it a piece at a time on Reverb. Take a bunch of pieces, figure out a price, and then I learned how to ship it and I went and bought boxes and learned how to pack it and bought a I don't know, ridiculous amount of bubble wrap. It was like, I don't know, 3,000 feet of bubble wrap. It barely fit in my truck.
Mm.
Like you had to buy 2 rolls at a time and it like there was I had to put all the seats down and it still like barely could close the trunk. I had to sit in my car at like the steering wheel's here and I had to drive like this because I had to push
Wow.
the car up so far. So I had like no leg room and I have long knees, like long legs. And so like I was trying to drive home. It was very uncomfortable. But,
Yeah.
like that's you just I don't know, you just start figuring out how to do stuff because you're like, I don't want to move all these keyboards again. And it was unfun. And I had like, I don't know, 13 3-tier keyboard stands, or maybe more. I don't know, at least 13 of them. And I just said, like the stuff I really like, I'm not selling it, but the stuff that I just don't use and I don't want to use it and I don't like it anymore, like I'm just going to get rid of it. So if
Yeah.
it was like, too old or it just didn't work well enough or it was too finicky, like I just sold all that stuff and got rid of it.
How tall are you?
5'11", so like almost 6 foot.
Mm.
Yeah, with the reason I'm asking because like you were like I was in a car like this. Yeah, I've been in a car so many times like this, so where you have stuff
Mm.
all over you. You have to.
Well, I've knocked my knee so many times and hurt my knee so many times because I get into a car that's too small and I bang it against the dashboard trying to get myself into the car. And
Oh,
so like there's several cars like I will not buy them anymore because like I kept bashing my knee every time I would get in them. It was awful.
yeah, you have to.
Uh, I've been waiting for an opportunity to cut in, but I feel like now's a good time. You said Berkeley, right?
Yeah, for
Berkeley,
music.
California, right?
No, Berkeley in Boston. It's like an online school for music production, and that's where I learned Logic. That's where I
Oh,
actually.
I forget. I forget. There's multiple Berkeleys because there's a Berkeley there, and then there's my
Yeah,
birthplace, Berkeley, California.
yeah.
So I had a thought. I had a thought and assumed, and I'm just like, wait, what?
Yeah, I wanted to start producing music because like I've been composing before that, and I thought,
Mm-hmm.
okay, let's put it into a digital form, but I had no idea where to even start. So
Right.
it was Logic. It was Logic. But then later on, I moved to Ableton, and Ableton is a lot more versatile, and I prefer it. But like, if it has to be Logic, I can work with that. I just don't prefer it nowadays.
I
Yeah,
think it
use
depends.
I would use stuff like that, but one, I don't have like I mean I have a laptop, but it's not really all that compatible with that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
And two, um I pretty much make everything on my phone. It's I know, Sam, I think you've seen and commented on one of the ones that I had made.
Yeah,
But
your phone's fine. Just keep making them on your phone. Like
yeah,
you just have to find something that works. Like
yeah,
if I go between Logic and Ableton, it's because I couldn't get Ableton to do what I wanted it to do. So then I go back to Logic, and then Logic does stuff I don't want it to do. So then I go back to Ableton, and I flip flop between them because there's certain things like if you want to loop, like you just want to loop, and you want to just record, I don't know, like 30 seconds of holding down some keys. Like that is so ridiculously easy to do in Ableton. You could do it all day long with your eyes closed and you try to
yeah.
do that same thing in Logic, you will just drive
It
yourself
would just be
crazy
right.
because it
'Cause-
doesn't fade the loop in and out. So you have to then like go there and like, create a loop and then create another loop because you have to have the one, where it fades in, from the beginning of the track. But then you have to make like these extra little loops that fade about themselves so that they fade right and then create the one at the outskirt. And then you have to, and then of course, if you did that for 3 minutes and you spent like an hour trying to make all these loops like so they line up right so they don't cut every time and they sound like a continuous thing, then you have to like go mess with that, because you go like, oh, I want a 4 minute track instead of a 3 minute track, and then you have to sit there and mess with it again. It's really annoying. But you
right.
could do that in Ableton and it's like 5 seconds. But then if I want to do like buses, because I go like, well, I want to do buses like in my old mixers, you have subgroups.
Hmm.
Like Ableton doesn't do subgroups, because it's not set up to do subgroups. So when I'm using 128
Right.
tracks and I want to subgroup some stuff down, it doesn't really like let me do that. So I have to mix 128 tracks, like, which is annoying when I want to mix 128 tracks because my screens aren't that big. Even on my big giant 27-inch, or 30-inch, LCD screens, they're still not that big. And so it's like it just depends. Like Logic is really good for for automation. Like when I want to automate something and just put a lot of like for tracks. Like I don't want to mess with the tracks. I just want to mess with the volume of a track,
Right.
like of a single track over like 12 minutes. Like it's easier for me to do it in Logic. It's a
Right.
pain in the butt
Hmm.
to do it in Ableton.
I think completely the opposite about that, but again, I guess it depends on the workflow and what you're used to.
Yeah.
You
So
know.
some stuff, some tracks I
Yeah.
only write in Logic, and some I only write in Ableton. I
Right.
go back and forth.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I like to keep my project in one place, and being able to have like one longer project with a bunch of tracks in it. Let's say very, very big project, and there's like 20, 50 tracks in the same project. So when I open the project, they I could like seamlessly, without opening another project, transform elements from one track to another one and get more ideas of like, because for me it's kind of like all connected for that one project. It could be an album or EP, or it doesn't matter. I don't have to think about the end result. But for me, it's like it's project and like certain areas, like a bunch of things that are teamed certain way. Like for example, you tell me you're doing a lot of sax and piano at around between 125 and 135 BPM. So for me, there is a team there. So I would work on that in like have one Ableton project with like throw all the tracks in that one project. So when I open it, I'll be able to like I see it as a one project, versus like okay, there's this like hardcore techno with a, a bunch of synths and violins and some rap or whatever. That would be a different thing because it's not the team of the saxophone and piano 125 to 135 BPM, and it varies. And within that project, I could also automate. Like I love automation in Ableton. It's so versatile compared to Logic, which I cannot say that about Logic. But then again, it depends like how much you work with. Where I just like I'm faster at Ableton currently in when it comes to automation, and for me that brings a lot of dynamics and a lot of soul into electronic music. And for like if I have to change the tempo, like let's say I have one same project and the structure between a 125 and 135,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to do 127 and the other one 134. So
Mm.
I will automate the tempo itself to where like it's gonna start at 134 at the starting of the second song where I wanted a 134, but before that it was 127. So that automation of the tempo is also like something that is just pretty valuable when it comes to one project with many songs in it. But it's just definitely makes everything faster. You can produce more tracks for less time versus like going between the projects and trying to name everything and no.
That's why they're all named by dates and tempo.
Yeah, workflow.
Just
I guess
the
it's like a
market
matter
state.
of workflow. Hey, stop eating my plant. Hey, no. I have a puppy that I still have to tell him everything. But he listens. So when I tell him no, he knows. Oh, no means no. I should stop whatever am I doing. I guess that's wrong, and that's how he knows. Right. Uh, any questions about any DJing equipment?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's because I was really just thinking I was going to use some loop points and mix some tracks together with a couple, like, because I was going to use, I think, 3 decks and like two that I
Mm.
mix between, and then one that has like a loop point, or maybe two that just are set up for loop points
Hmm.
because I just want to keep like a certain loop going, and I just want to go back between that, and probably it doesn't matter, Tractor or the other one would work,
I
Serato or
mean,
would
they
work.
all have free versions,
Yeah.
and the thing is that like if you're just training yourself for the listening part, it really doesn't matter. Just go with the cheapest thing ever, like you know
Right. Like I
something that
pretty much did.
yeah, yeah, just to get used to it, to get into it, and so you can get to hear it. Like if you can mix 3 tracks with no train wrecking several times, same 3 tracks. Then you're ready to move on to like 10 tracks mixing and like listen, record yourself. Listen, does that sound like I'm train wrecking? Because sometimes you don't hear how you're like my friend, I was giving an example earlier that she's very visual. Oh my God, she is so bad that she can't hear it, and that's the thing that I'm like, please record yourself and listen to yourself. And even when she does, she just can't hear it because she's so used to like seeing the lines that her ears got lazy. And something to be said that naturally some people have better ear, like Dorian. Like if you weren't born with that good of a ear, you wouldn't be singing that great. It would be a lot more work. It's just some people who are naturally born with really good ear, and like Justin here, he has a really good ear. He can hear stuff really well. And my friend, that was not the case. Like she's naturally the opposite. Like has a very good like logical looking into things and pointing things, what is with what, and checklists and things like that, but can't hear very well. She can hear tonality going up and going down. When a do re mi fa sol, she doesn't hear it as going up. She hears it as do re mi fa sol. It's like, how does that work? Like I just can't understand it, but I can understand that at the same time because like I've taught a lot of people. But that's how she thinks. So for her, it's not good to be looking at the screen and getting used to it. And actually, the other one, train your ear to actually hear the beat. And it's not even hearing high or low, but it's hearing them at the same time, because the train wreck comes in when the beats are not synced, but they're like one track is a little faster than the other one, and you can hear it the in between not falling.
Well, see, I think I'm probably like almost exactly like your friends. Like I can hear pitch really good. So if the pitches aren't the same, like I could hear that, but I can't hear beats. Like I'm sucky with beats. Like I've even produced music that's so bad, like it doesn't even time to itself. Like it used to be so bad. I mean, all like a pile of music I wrote for like a decade, like it would not sync to itself, right?
Mhm.
So like
Mm.
I would play the bass note and the bass note would be off, or I'd play the drums and they'd be off, or I'd play whatever, everything would be off. Like I couldn't get anything to line up. And I would just be sitting there like listening to it and trying to play it, but I just suck. So like I can't like hear the beats. Like I don't have good ear beat matching. It doesn't matter if I close my eyes or open my eyes or I'm looking at a screen or not looking at a screen. Like it's just like that is very hard like for me to do. But like if I wanted to hear the pitch, like I could hear if someone was even slightly off, if they were singing, like I could tell
Mhm.
instantaneously. Like if the singing's off or the instrument's off or it's not tuned quite right. But then again, I used to not be able to tell when my guitar was not tuned, and I used to play like everything in an out of tune guitar because like I thought the guitar was in tune, but it wasn't. So then I had to learn to, I did. It was terrible. And so like I have all these songs where the guitar is out of tune, and I didn't realize it because I wasn't mixing it with the piano, and so the piano was always in tune because it was always electronic, piano, and not
Yeah.
like my out of tune cabinet ground that I learned to play on. And so I just, and of course I play on my out of tune cabinet ground and it sounded fine to me. And then I'd
Yeah.
go and listen to my guitar and my guitar would be all out of tune, and I wouldn't realize that that was a problem. And then I would wonder why it didn't like come together, in the end. So
Yeah.
that's part of the reason I started making electronic music because it never went out of tune. Like because you didn't have to think about like, oh, is that synth in tune? Like it was always in tune. All the MIDI notes would just line up.
Yeah.
So I
Well,
wish
All
I had
that
the
talk
magical
about
gift.
out of, oh, sorry.
yeah. I just want to throw one thing. You need to double down on that, and practice it. You get better with practicing. You can't just like say, I'm not good at that, I'm not gonna do it. Like that is the thing that you need to do if you want to DJ. Like you were saying, I want to DJ. That's the most important thing in DJing, to be able to match the beats. Otherwise, you're gonna suck, and people gonna throw tomatoes and potatoes at you on stage. Unless you're not doing the stage. If you're just DJing in your house with software, that's fine. Then you can see it. You can't really mess it up because like you see the lines that are going at the same time. But if you're going anywhere out to do it and you can hear it, man, yeah, my friend sometimes is DJing, and um, she's gotten a lot better with hearing it, and I'm super proud of her for that, because like she just kept on practicing, and she just doesn't have a very good ear, that's all. But she kept practicing, and she's a lot better, and she plays shows here and there, and I'm super proud of her. But it's a lot more difficult because A, she didn't have good ear by birth, and then B, started with looking at the thing, and the reason she started looking at the thing is that I didn't know. Oh, okay, it's better to start this way, because like I was learning at the time, I was just like literally getting out of turntables into Serato, into Tractor, into all the other ones. So I was just like very new. I didn't know. But for her, she was brand spanking new with no turntables training or anything, boom into Serato immediately. And we met at that person, like the mean boss guy, like I was telling you earlier about. That's where we met. And he was using exclusively Serato with Serato controllers, and that's how she learned. And she stayed with it. And even nowadays, like she's always like looking down into matching things visually and not really listening very much. But it's a lot better at mixing. Like she has some good stuff in
Yeah,
terms of like, recorded mix. Sorry.
it's amazing what you're actually able to do, even without the formalities of the training. Like, I feel like sometimes it's the case where even though you're not as trained, where you make up for that lack of training is the creativity that you develop over time. And then that becomes your training itself. So I actually kind of admire the people who say like, "Oh, I'm not really trained in this area or in this thing or even in this instrument. I just figured it out myself, self-taught, fully, no training, no mentors or anything like that." And I'm just like, I mean, wow. And I can relate because I'm not trained on the keyboard, but I can actually play something cohesive.
Yeah.
So just thinking about just thinking about that and hearing you guys talk about it, it's like it kind of reminds me like why I do what I do the way that I do it, and I feel like it's reaching people in a way that I'm not always expecting it to, but it's because I shouldn't really expect it.
Mm.
Expect the unexpected, you know?
Yeah. No, it's some really powerful stuff what you're saying. Like people don't expect a lot of things. People don't expect you to whip out a live guitar or a piano on a rave in a DJ stage. But people go nuts for
Yeah,
that because they don't
yeah.
expect it, and they're like, "Oh, you're just another DJ." It's like, what? They don't know you. Yeah, yeah.
No, that's cool. I mean, I don't know. I definitely think there's some things where like having some classical training could have really helped me, but then it's like when you don't really
Mhm.
have like music theory, or I've had very little music theory, and very little like training in like playing certain things, and like I think I had some bass lessons, and I kind of learned bass, but I never really got good at reading music at all. I pretty much just had to. I'm like so slow at doing it, and so I like had to memorize entire songs, and which is good as long as we played the song from start to beginning, and until they said pick it up at measure 57, and I couldn't do it because I
Mm,
was like I only know how to play it from beginning to end. I don't know how to play it from 57, so they thought I couldn't play it at all, but I just couldn't play it from measure 57 because I didn't know where that was in the thing. So it's like but then again, it's like, some of the chords that I play and like, some of the ways that I play it, like, you know, it's like if I had done it, then I would have, I don't know. I probably wouldn't do those things because I wouldn't have thought about it. It's just like
Right.
I have this Eurorack software, and the Eurorack software is very, it makes you plug this cable into this space, and you're only allowed to plug certain cables into certain spaces, and to try to help you out. And like, so, but half the stuff I've done on the URAC that like I'm proud of is stuff that I wasn't supposed to do. Like I plugged this thing into a place I wasn't supposed to plug it.
That's what I
And
was gonna ask you. What happens if you plug something that you're not supposed to put? Like a.
then you do really cool stuff that no one else is doing because you're not supposed to do that. And I didn't know you weren't supposed to do that. So I
You don't
just
know what you're
started
gonna.
doing it.
Yeah, yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, something to be said, like what Damian said earlier about like just figuring out stuff by yourself. Like you do cool stuff like that because like you don't know you're not supposed to.
Yeah, no one ever
Yeah,
told me that I
yeah.
wasn't supposed to do that. So then you wind up doing it anyway.
Hmm.
And then you go like, well, how did you come about that? And it's like, well, I don't know. I just put A and B together. And they're like, you can't do that. And it's like, well, I just did. So, you know, because you start doing that. If no one tells you there's any rules, you just kind of mess around and you find stuff, right? So
Yeah.
it's just kind of like what happens, because you get curious, like, well, okay, well, I never thought about doing this thing before, or instead of putting a CDJ here, I don't know, I put a loop player, instead of a
Yeah.
CDJ or whatever. And it's like, well, no, you can't do that. It's got to all be, and it's like, or you put something else there, like that you're not supposed to put there, and you just mess with it. So like, I don't know, but that's usually like, because, so the training is good, but then sometimes the training is like, it
Mm.
teaches you how to use the software in a certain way, but then,
Hmm.
I don't know, I kind of like trying to use it in a different way sometimes.
Yeah, that reminds me of one case. So, like, I have this guy that he plays saxophone really well, and I have a saxophone. It's in a box somewhere. And so he came to my house. So we played the show together first. The first time we met, we already played together. So I was DJing on top of an art car with my Burning Man friends. And it was in the backyard in Long Beach in somebody's house. Like she had a birthday. She's also a mermaid like me. And I'm on top of an art
Wow.
car. And then that art car has like different Justin, Rafi's girlfriend, the mermaid, Maddie the mermaid, was their party in their house in the backyard. So I'm on top of that art car, Rafi's art car with the arcades and everything, like all the like lights and crazy stuff like that transforms into things. I was on top of that, and this guy Casey, and then I forgot his artist name, but we're no longer in contact. But that's where we met. It was on top of that art car. Like I'm DJing, but I had a lot of vocals in my truck, and then I started hearing a saxophone from somewhere, and saxophone sometimes blending with vocals, and that was my first thought. But second thought was like, wait, it's completely different frequency because the vocals were way too high to be that sax, and it wasn't like an alto sax. So I like went like this, and then I look down because I'm all the way on top of an art car, so it's like really high. And I look down and I see a guy with a saxophone behind the car, and so I'm like, hey, you. And I'm pointing like this, and he's like, "Who, me?" And I'm like, "Yes, you. Come over here." And he's like, "Me?" And I'm like, "Come over here." And he climbs up the stairs with his saxophone. And while I'm
Wow.
spinning the truck, I'm like, "Play with me. Just use your ear and like what you hear because like there were a lot of vocals of what I was playing, and vocals are melodic. If it's from one person, unless you do something like Davian is doing with a bunch of vocals layered together in harmony as well. But in this case, it was a lot of melodic vocals, just one voice. And I'm like, just listen to what it is and like try to go with your saxophone. And he's like, all right. And I'm like, is that the mic? And he had the mic with his saxophone. So I plugged the mic into my mic place, and I'm like, here you can do effects with that. Here you can do a reverb. Here you can do an echo with your saxophone. So just like go crazy. And he's like, okay. So like he was literally DJing with me while he's playing saxophone. It was so incredible. It was our first time we met. Then I invited him to my house to do some more jamming. And yeah, it's like where I'm going with this. Oh yeah. Because I actually taught him how to use it. You know how we were saying earlier, like it's not supposed to be used this way, but you use it anyway. Yeah. So I was like, he came to my house with his saxophone, and I was like, we are going to plug your microphone from your saxophone into my vocal effect box, and we can do some really crazy stuff there. And we did like we were able to kind of like what you do with vocals, but it's with sax. So you can layer different things
Mm.
with harmonies and harmonize it and delay, and all of them you can add and stack effects in real time with that box I have. It's in box
Oh
right
yeah,
now. It's like it's packed. It's not unpacked, but it's just a vocal processor with like effects.
yeah, like a VX1 or
For,
something.
for
Wow.
it's for vocals, but I plugged his saxophone microphone
Yeah,
well in the box. So
into the box.
and,
Yeah,
and
the
he was like,
vocal. Like
"You're
yeah,
not supposed to do that," and I'm like, "Who says I'm not supposed to do that?" He's like, "That's for microphone. That's for vocals," and I'm like, "Well, the sax is technically going into a microphone, so anything that goes into a microphone can be processed the same way as vocals that go to a microphone."
you can
Yeah,
put
Exactly.
drums into it. You can
yeah,
put
yeah, yeah.
any
And he
instrument
was just like,
just for
he
fun.
was just mind blown. He's like, I am so going to be doing that from now on. I'm gonna buy one of those because like really excited. Yeah,
Yeah, I got some
Yeah.
rolling ones. Those are fun to play with.
yeah.
They're like the green ones. I've got a couple green ones.
Green what?
Wow.
Like they're vocal processors, but they're green. They're like a little green and black box.
I have like
Mm.
one black and one blue. The one that I was plugging Casey in, it was blue. Vox, Electro Vox, or no, that's I don't know. It's in a box right now. Like there's
Yeah, I had some rolling stuff. It works. It works pretty good.
Mm.
try to plug an instrument through going through it with a microphone. Yeah,
Yeah,
cool.
you can
It's
put
kind of
drums
like
through it. Sax.
probably that's how probably the guitar pedals work with like their effects that your guitar goes to those effects.
Sometimes, yeah, depending on the effect, you can get more effects out of those boxes though than just a wah pedal.
I mean, they're
Yeah.
from pedal to pedal. There is a big difference. Like there's these guys with like a huge rack of pedals that are put together with like they all do different things. That's some pretty elaborate. Like that's crazy.
Well, yeah, it's everything was discrete. They didn't have multi effect pedals, so you had to like string them together to get what you wanted. But now you can, buy one unit that has like 30 effects in it, so you don't need
Mhm.
all the pedals
Yeah.
unless you want to run more than one effect at a time.
Yeah, I do have some kind of a older pedal effect board for a guitar that I was gonna like experiment and do something with like keyboards maybe, but I have no idea where is it now.
Mm.
Yeah, no idea. I don't know. It said hi. Levis, hi. How are you?
Yeah, and Gunta didn't say hi either.
I said hi to Gunta, but I didn't to Levis. Hi, Levis.
I'm a quiet one. Hello.
Hello.
What's up?
What's
How
up?
are you?
Hey,
I don't know when you came in. We were talking about originally about DJ equipment for like starters. What's the difference between digital and analog? And I think I recorded the whole thing. Just one time I exited because I just exited the tab instead of exiting the tab.
Speaking of
Sorry.
speaking of which, it's still recording, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Do you guys have any questions? I do want to go pee and
It's gym time.
gym time.
Yep.
Thank you so much for hanging out together.
Of
yeah,
course.
Yeah. That was
I'm glad I
good
was able
chat.
to actually make this call because I was sick last Friday, so I
Yeah.
couldn't make.
Mm.
Well, I was sick the whole weekend.
Well, I'm glad you're
I think
better.
Thursday going into Sunday, a little bit of Monday, with the aftermath of the start of the next week, which is this week. But I'm glad I was able to make this one this time. So, yeah.
I'm glad you're better.
Thanks.
So, Justin, are we going to get to see a set?
Yeah, I've been wanting to do maybe like a DJ live stream. We have a lot of really good streaming, brand new in the box cameras. We got like 3 Elgato cameras and a stream deck, and we're kind of just clearing up a studio room right now. And I want to set that up and do a live stream DJ session. I think that'd be incredible.
Yeah. No, that'd be really awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. So you got so you were using Elgato with the Stream Deck to do it?
Yeah. I think we got 3. I forget what the cameras are, but I think it's like the Elgato brand, and we have a stream deck as well. So then we just gotta figure out the um, streaming software. I think it might come with software. Maybe what's that one software, Ro?
OBS.
OBS.
Yeah,
Maybe
but you
do
Oh,
can't.
that.
OBS.
You
Okay.
can't make OBS with the school call. It has to be like a Zoom thing. So that's why I was
Yeah,
like, meh.
we'll have to
So
figure all that out.
yeah, I think that if we are about to do that with the school call, would the most important part would be to figure out the sound routing, and I have this.
Right.
Yeah, because a lot of the frequencies are cut out.
Yeah, it's gotta sound good.
Uh,
Sound good.
Yeah, so it
No.
would be going directly from the decks into the sound card, regardless if you're going to use it like an audio interface or directly into the computer. So I'm thinking that I might want to try this device I got for streaming. It's what was the name? Like it's for streaming for uh, man, just completely blanked out. It's like one little thing that's used for streaming that you plug in.
Was that one where you lost the serial number thing on?
I lost it at Burning Man. Yeah, the serial number. So
Whoops.
now I can't do recording, but I can do streaming with it because like the recording it gets out sped up, and I'm like, here's my receipt about that from like Reno next to the closest. It was the closest guitar center next to Burning Man, and I bought it, and I learned my lesson that like I never knew before that when you have equipment, the serial number is usually in a box or in the instructions. It's
You
right
threw the
there.
box.
Yeah, not in this one. The serial number was a separate little card, like this big, that I either threw away or I don't know. It doesn't even say it's a serial number. It just has a number. And anyway, so I called the place and I'm like, hey, I bought this. Here's my receipt. Here's the date. And I have bank statements and receipt and everything. And they're like, oh, no, if you don't have a serial number, then we can't help you. I emailed the company. No, and it's a big company. It's a big company. I forgot the name. I can later like go see and send you a photo or whatever or post it. But it's a big company. It's not some Josh. It's the stream thing. It's the stream thing that you use for streaming usually. I don't know. Justin's microphone is. I'm hearing the
I know. I
feedback.
always gotta mute myself. It's weird.
Yeah, I don't know if it's your case or what, but I just like hear it like double when I talk when you're not muted for some reason. But anyway, yeah. So the only thing that works is now for streaming. If I stream directly into another, like go live on like Facebook or Instagram or whatever, which I bought it for Instagram, and I can't record anything though because like if I mean I can record video, but like I cannot record like directly from my decks because that's what I tried. That's where I figured out it's not working until like I got the serial number to unlock some kind of a software from my phone to make it work with my DJ decks. And what it does is it records my mix, what I'm mixing, but it speeds it up. I'm like, why would it do that? What's the point of that? Like, why would it make it faster? And I can't do anything in the app unless I unlock with a serial number. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. And that's when I started contacting them, and I was like, oh my god, there's no serial number in that box anywhere in the instructions on the box or on the unit itself. You would think it's on the unit, it's not. So anyway, so now I just like, I don't want to deal with these people anymore. It's just like throwing you from one customer service to another to tell you that you don't have the serial number, we can't help. Like, I have the box, the receipt, and like, I'm not lying to you. And the unit, it's not even that expensive to be worth it, to be lying. Uh, if like some people were about to do that, I don't even know why would somebody do that. But anyway, so I can't record a regular DJ set, but I can stream with it. And then with school, you cannot do OBS, which is what we use for streaming to route it to either Zoom or YouTube or whatever. So I was thinking that with this, I could use that stream device that like plugs in the DJ decks, and then from there straight into the computer through the device, and it should work. Like theoretically, haven't tried that yet.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Let us know how that goes.
It sounds like we should have some live tests.
Yeah. Well, maybe next time, next week, maybe we can do that. That would be interesting.
Mm,
Yeah, that'd be cool.
yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Either that
We'll
or
talk about
we're going to
I
turn it
still
into a
have to.
competition.
Oh, sorry.
that.
Oh no. I'd probably be the first to lose that.
What did you say? I didn't hear it.
No, I said either
no,
that or
so
we're gonna start to have a competition. I'm gonna go get my DJ controller and start streaming, and see if I can do it before you can do it. So it's like,
uh,
either
Okay.
you guys get it together, or I'll be there and we'll like have a contest, see who can stream first.
You hear that?
Yeah.
Right? We gotta
wow.
get our stuff together.
Yeah, and I think that even it would be good to have like an open call like this, that's always open, that you can click on a link and just like jump on with anyone to jam.
Yeah.
Mm,
Well, yeah, they tried doing that in Lagoosify, but it didn't work. So I guess we still have to like coordinate a little bit. But I think if
Yeah.
we coordinate, yeah.
Well, in not really. In Goosify, what we do is we have like a set time. Like
Yeah.
Friday at 10 or whatever, co-working session, and and
Yeah,
yeah,
see that
I mean
works.
that might work for what like we have this call. But what I was thinking, that we can have like a button where we can go to anytime. Like, let's say, Sam, you text me at 3 a.m. or whatever. It's like, hey, let's go to the jam session. So we just go to that button and we're right here. Versus like having to send each other links or whatever. Like we can like even post, we're live, and you don't have to have me there if you have that. Like, you can just go in and post it yourself, or just uh, like connect with some people, maybe text a few, and hey, let's go on this one call and like get together. But I think that would be kind of cool to have different jam sessions and collaborations, especially if you are from a computer. You can control the sound. From a phone, you cannot do anything, but from a computer you can remove the suppression of the compressor for vocals, and it's not just vocals, it's like all the instruments. There's certain parts that get muted if that thing is on, and I cannot do anything from my phone, just from the computer.
Yeah, well, see, I need to figure out, because I made all these tracks with these emotions, like, infused into it. And I need to figure out if I mix the two tracks together and I pull out, I don't know, the trumpet or whatever it was, or the flute, like, do I still have the emotion in there? And if I mix the songs together, like, does that work or does it not work? So I need to kind of figure out, like, is the whole track necessary, or is it already encoded and just the flute and the trumpets just like there, and I don't need to have it the whole time. So I need to kind of verify if I need all the components and I just have to leave them in there, or if I can take them out and mix them together with something else.
There's no right or wrong answer. I guess
Well,
how would you know? How would you know if you can? Or
that's
you
why I
can't?
want to mix them together, and I want to find out.
Okay, how are you going to find out? Let's say you're mixing them together. Are there certain criteria that are going to tell you, okay, you can mix them or you can't mix them?
Well, that's why I want to get a whole bunch of people on a call.
To like hear different
He wants
opinions?
to experiment.
Want to
He
experiment?
wants to experiment
Yeah.
with it. Yeah.
And you can also slap the tracks in Ableton or Logic and then put them together manually,
That's
into the
not
software.
fun. No,
Oh, I
not
know
fun.
it's not, but what I'm
I
saying
don't
is
want to
if
do
it's
that.
for the
That's
sake
not
of
fun.
hearing
I
it,
want to do something that's fun. It's
I,
I mean, I could sit in there and line them up in Logic and
yeah,
crossfade them out, but that would be so tediously and fun. I don't want to. I want to make it fun, so
yeah,
I want to put them in a DJ controller to make it fun,
yeah.
and
No, I
then
hear you.
and then
Mm.
like it's a fun thing. I don't want to
I
do
hear
something
you.
that's not fun.
But you know what? Also, let me tell you something. It will be fun once you can actually beat match it. Because like if you're train wrecking, it's not gonna be fun and not gonna be fun for nobody to listen to it.
Yeah,
So
well, if I don't get the controller and figure out if I can beat match now, I don't know. The last time I tried to beat match was like probably 10 years ago.
yeah.
So I haven't done it for a very long time. So I was like, if I get a controller, because the last time that I had Tractor and I think I had a crappy controller, it was like, it wasn't even like, it was like the cheapest, like possible controller you could buy. And it was so unfun that I just didn't want to do it again. Like
Yeah.
it made me never want to use that software. So like I'm like, if I get something that's reasonable, I mean, it doesn't have to be motorized, but something that's at least reasonable, and I play with it and it's fun, then I would want to do more with it. So it's kind of like
Yeah.
to see if I can get it to be fun now.
Yeah. Well, for me, the turntables did it and made it fun. Before that, I was like, I don't know, this DJing thing is so boring. It was the
Yeah, but
turntable.
Mm.
1200s are kind of expensive, and then you have to get DVS, and I mean the DVS
Hey,
isn't expensive, but
I'm not telling you to do this, especially when you were writing electronic music. How are you going to put it on vinyl? You would have to press it on a vinyl to put it there.
they should have
Um,
it just like you do 3D printing. They should have vinyl printing in a house.
uh,
They should. I don't know why
sure.
somebody hasn't figured that out.
Maybe that's a new business idea you should come up with and start
I think
getting
somebody
going
else
because
can
it's
come up
needed.
with it, and I'll just take advantage of it when they do.
But yeah, you can actually do with a time code if you have turntables. Time code, what I was
Yeah, you get
mentioning
the
is,
DVS records. You can do it.
yeah, yeah,
I mean, you can buy the DVS records. They're pretty cheap. Like the records are not expensive to do it, and it's probably like, faster to do it that way. But, like I would love to press my own records, but, I don't have record pressing stuff.
me
I don't know.
either.
Maybe in 6 months I'll have record pressing stuff and then I can go do it because I
I
felt like
would
it.
not be surprised.
Anything could possibly could happen.
Yep, everything is possible 100% of the time, 100% possible.
Well, I'm usually just trying to figure out if something is possible. So I'm just messing with stuff because I want to know if it's possible to do it or not. Like I used to have like 900 records and it was fun. I loved having 900 records. I don't have them anymore. That may change.
You never know.
You never know. You never know.
Like I have a shit ton of records that are still in storage in Florida, and then I have here. I don't know how many. Never
I had
counted them,
800. I had
but
8 or 900.
a lot. Like mine were like a wall and another wall of crates with each crate had a bunch of records. And some of them, not all of them were like dance music. I had a lot of jazz and classical music and things like that.
750 of them were from this collector and I bought his duplicates.
Mm.
He's like, I don't really want these because I bought better versions. Do you want them all? And I was like, okay. So I bought 750 from him that were just his duplicates. And then I
Yeah.
improperly stored some of them and learned
Improperly,
improperly.
like
like I had him in this like I had an apartment at that time, and I put him in the outside storage unit, and like in the outside storage unit, like it got wet, and I didn't put plastic underneath of them, so it messed up the bottom like 4 or 5 records. Like all the cases were messed up. But I mean, I don't know. You're talking like I had 4 stacks that were at least 4 feet high. At least 4 stacks,
So they
maybe
were
5 stacks.
horizontally stuck, yeah?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
They
you
were
always
like like
you
yeah,
always
from the
want to do
floor
them
up.
vertically because otherwise they warp from their own weight. You want to
No, they
have them
didn't.
vertical.
And I never warped them. And eventually, when I had a better place to store them, I store them on shelves, and I stored them, horizontally on shelves. But I don't know. I had a lot of improper storage. I broke a double keyboard Hammond organ, trying to get it out a sliding door one time because we fumbled it. That was terrible. And I had to get rid of a all tube keyboard organ. It's really been heartbreaking sometimes.
Yeah.
Had some really great stuff and had to let some really great stuff go. It's been sad sometimes. That's for sure.
Abby, and what are you playing?
Something random. I just looked at the keys and just heard something in my head and tried to emulate it.
That's the way you translate.
I do that pretty often.
Yeah.
Well, good to see you, everyone. I'm gonna let you go. I really need to go to the bathroom. If you want to keep staying and like talking with each other, please do. Thank you so much for coming to this call, and I hope it was helpful with like figuring out a little bit of a clarity at least between all the DJ equipment. And it's always nice talking with all of you and seeing you.
You can always just say, I need to take a bathroom break, and just take a bathroom break. Like, no one's going to get upset about that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Dancing in your chair.
I'm stopping the recording.